Hi everyone, welcome back to the Code. I'm Tawanza, and this is our safe, warm space to talk about things that are unusually cold and or may feel scary, okay? And yes, so today we're going to be talking about the Reaper, all right? And one of my in my pineapple video, I was doing explaining the benefits of a pineapple, and I was explaining how a pineapple blade, the leaf, has the ability to cut through lies and foggy brains. And when I was, clearing that from my mind, I had brought up the Most High God, the Reaper, my spiritual team, and my ancestors. If you were paying attention, yes. So today also I want to say we got a special guest. This is my grandpa. This is my grandpa, and he is here to watch and listen to me because he is so proud of me. And yes, I'm doing this for him as well. Okay? So, without further ado, like I said, the topic that we're going to be talking about today is the Reaper. Because me and him, we had some late conversations. I'm one of those women who call upon different entities and deities. And to make a long story short, I felt that someone was doing death rituals on me. Beautiful Tawanza. And when I felt that energy, that someone in the world is possibly doing death rituals on me, I wanted to know and to figure out who it was. So I was put in a position to want to call the Reaper. Okay. So yes, I wanted to know from the source, who was this individual and why is this individual doing these rituals and things? Okay. So yes, most people think of him as a bad guy or a bully, and he is neither of that, okay? But like I said, I've had some pretty lit conversations with him, and some I am going to get into, and I've realized he is not a monster. He is a friend to a natural order, okay? What you need to understand about the Reaper is he is what you would call a civil servant of the universe. Okay, so the Reaper is a civil servant of the universe. So now let's talk about that position, the civil servant. And let's also expand this and talk about the Great Garden. So the world, let's look at the world as a big garden, okay? As a big, beautiful garden. So think of his position as a high-ranking official. He doesn't work for himself. He works for the universe. To him, the whole world is one big, beautiful garden. Okay? So that is one thing that you need to know when you're dealing with the Reaper. That is his position in the world, in the universe. His position is to work for the universe, okay? He is a high-ranking position. He has a high-ranking position. Okay? So the garden. Every life is a plant or a flower. So me, I am a plant. Every human in the Reaper's eyes is a plant or a flower or a weed. Hello? In his eyes, that is how he sees. Because he sees the world in the universe as a garden. So to him, I am a beautiful rose, baby. A beautiful rose. Okay? Even an apple tree. I am a watermelon to him. Okay? I am an apple tree to him. Okay? That's what he see when he see me. To some of y'all, he might see a weed. To some of y'all, he might see a dandelion or whatever. So let's talk about his tool that he has, the Said. And I could be saying that wrong. I could be for well saying that wrong. But like I said, his tool, we all know the tool that he has, that big tall stick with the big blade going across. That's called the Said. And I could be saying it wrong, but it's spelled Scythe. Okay? So people see this big Said that he holds, they get scared. But see, as a gardener, if you know anything about gardening, that is a tool that pulls up plants when it's time to go. So that Said is nothing but a gardening tool that he uses to pull weeds and flowers when it is time, and plants and everything, every living thing, when it's time to go. He uses that to pull it, okay? And he also uses it to pull weeds, things that have finished their time, so the rest of the garden can keep looking nice and continue to grow. Okay, and what is the goal behind this? He isn't destroying the garden. Okay, let's get an understanding about that. The reaper, his job isn't to destroy the garden. His job is to tend to it and make sure that it can last, the garden can bloom and last as long as it can. Okay, without him, the garden would be overgrown and sick. So he does have a purpose, just like any and everything else. The reaper's purpose is not to destroy the garden, not to destroy the universe, not to destroy the world that we live in. But his purpose is to make sure that the garden and the earth and the world that we live in and the universe is not overgrown and sick by weeds. Okay? Now, as we continue to talk, let's talk about the laws that he must obey. Now, see, us as being in the human and being in the flesh, we have laws that we must obey as far as governmental laws. But we also have spiritual laws that we must follow depending on our ranking in the spiritual realm. And those are the laws that we should focus on more so than the governmental laws, but we should focus on both. But we do have to realize that we are spirits and that we do have laws that we must abide by. That's why in one of my the flying monkey video I was talking about, I was saying how if someone told me don't say nothing, I'm going to respect that, because I know that there are spiritual laws that I must abide by. And the authority that I have in the spiritual realm, I must abide by that. You know what I'm saying? And it's principalities to this, you know what I'm saying? That's how I get favor in the spiritual realm, by obeying the spiritual laws, not just the governmental laws, you know what I'm saying? All right, so let's go ahead and dive deep and talk about his laws and the laws that the reaper has to obey. By him being a civil servant, which means he has orders and laws he must abide by. He doesn't just wake up and decide what plants that he is going to pull and weed, okay? He has to abide by 3 major laws, and one of those laws is the law of timing. He has to follow a master clock, okay? There is a clock that he has to follow. He cannot arrive a second too early or a second too late. That is his job, okay? He has to follow a master clock. That is why it's very important when people decide to dabble in whatever they dabble in, and they decide to wish death on other people and even go as far as doing rituals, they must learn and understand that even he has a clock that he has to follow. And if the clock don't say it's your time, then there's nothing that he can do about it. Okay? So number 2, one of the things that he has to follow is the law of permission. He himself, he collects souls based on a higher authority. He still has to go up to the Creator, the Most High God, and they would have a court session or, something of that nature. I'm trying to break it down to you so you can understand. But he has to go take it up to a higher authority. They hold a court date. And then what others have to understand is he's the messenger. He is not the judge. Okay, that's one thing you have to understand when you're dealing with the reaper. He is only a messenger. He is not the judge. He does not have the final say-so. He can't swing his garden tool unless the Most High God tell him to go on and take it out. Okay? So number 3, the third law is the law of equality. He cannot be bribed. That's another thing that people have to understand. You cannot bribe the reaper. He treats everyone the same because the laws says everyone is equal until the end. It doesn't matter if you have $1. It doesn't matter if you have $1 million. It doesn't matter if you got 6 goats. It doesn't matter if you got a chicken foot. It doesn't matter if you got this person here. It don't matter. You cannot bribe him with no type of sacrifices thinking that he is going to take it. And then this is the thing. When you come into situations like that, what you have to know is this is the next thing we're going to talk about. He is not a demon, but he does have a chain of commands. So when you think you finna give the reaper some goats or some whatever y'all try to do for those death rituals, when you thinking that you're going to give that to the reaper, no, you didn't give it to the reaper, you gave it to a demon. Okay, because he cannot be bribed. He follows the law of equality. He cannot be bribed. So when you try to do a death ritual thinking that you're going to get someone to die and that you're going to, do whatever to that person, you didn't give that to the reaper. You fair well gave it to a demon. And I want to be really clear about something. Like I said earlier, the reaper is not a demon. In fact, he sits in a position of authority. Even demons have to come to him. Understand that. The reaper is not a demon. Demons have to come to him. Because when you do that ritual, that death ritual, and you do whatever you sacrifice on that person, then a demon took it. But a demon now has to go to the reaper and convince the reaper. That's when you got that little thing going on. Sit up in the air. But that's another thing. The reaper don't sit up and gossip. It's nothing that can be done. Now, there can be petitions signed, this, that, and the other, and things of that nature, yes, to bring you to speed up your clock. You can get you can get your clock sped up, okay, by what you do, okay? But he isn't a part of the dark side trying to trick you. He is a part of the light side, keeping things moving in the circle of life, okay? So that's what you need to understand. These demons come to him, but he isn't a part of the dark side trying to trick you. He is a part of the light side trying to keep things moving in the circle of life. He keeps the balance so that the negative energy don't take over the garden, okay? The reaper has authority over lower spirits and demons to keep the circle of life moving. That's why he allows certain things to take place in your life. Okay, yes, this does have something to do with the Creator and, the Most High God, but this also plays a part with the Reaper as well, okay? Because he is the one that's working with these, not necessarily working, but monitoring them, keeping them in their place, okay? Because everything has a place, position, and, I'm trying to free you from the matrix at this time. Demons got a place, they got to position it in a thing that they have to do with this world, just like angels as well. Angels have a place, a position, things they have to do. Then you have bigger spirits and entities like the Reaper, you know what I'm saying? Your ancestors, they are spirits and entities that work on this land in the universe as well to help send you messages. You also have your spiritual team, which are spirits that once lived this earth that you could still call upon and they can show up in your life, just as Jesus himself. That's why, yes, I'm not claiming Jesus to be fake. He is a spirit that you can call on and he will do whatever he wants to do in your life. Okay? That is the choice that you made. But here at the Cult, we do not call on him. Here at the Cult, he knows, with no disrespect, that he has no place here. He knows that I know what he knows, okay? So he knows I know what he knows. Me and him pretty much on the same level. Okay? And so one of the things that I really want you to take away from what I just said was the Reaper has authority over lower spirits and demons to keep the circle of life moving. So basically, with that, I'm going to give an example. those evil people that are doing death rituals and different things of that nature, when they're calling on these lower spirits and demons, that's who appears. Now, those lower spirits and demons have a job, which is to take it to the Reaper. You follow me? All right. So let me go ahead and talk about why he disliked demands. Why he doesn't like to be told what to do. Why he doesn't like when people come to him with these death rituals saying, oh, you should take out Tawansa because she made me so mad. She stumped my toe and she made my toe throb and I had to go get a fake toe or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So as we learned in my conversations with him, he is a being of quiet dignity, okay? Because he is a high-level civil servant, he does not like demands. No bullying, and he doesn't like bullying. He is not a bully, okay? He isn't a bully, and he doesn't like being bullied or shouted at. A lot of the time when people are doing these rituals, they're demanding this person die. Sometimes they even put a date on it. Sometimes I've seen in some reality shows where they will even make an obituary of that person and that person isn't even dead yet. Some people do this sick stuff in this world and it's really disheartening. It's really disheartening. When people make demands and try to order him around, they are disrespecting the laws he has to follow. Okay, now this is one thing, before I even say it, I'm going to talk about a little bit about when I called upon him. I was at peace, harmony. And, I wasn't calling on him to perform a death ritual. Like I said, in my heart, I felt as if someone was doing a death ritual or something on me. And that's why I was calling on him to see what's going on. Okay? To tap in and tell me what's going on. Okay? So he responds to peace and understanding, not to noise and ego. Don't think you finna come to him with some whatever sacrifice it may be. Don't think you finna bring no sacrifice to him and he will accept it. You need to come with him in peace and understanding. Okay? Now, I'm going to talk about, get into another conversation that I had with him. But one thing that I found, what was I going to say? Dang, it kind of just left me. So I am going to go ahead and talk about the conversation that I had. And if the other conversation comes up, then I will speak on it. Okay, because once I called on him, this ain't what I was going to say, but yes. Once I called on him, he was honored because I came at him at a different angle. And when I put the names on these people, when I put the names on the flowers to verify were these flowers speaking my name in some wicked ritual, he doesn't like to gossip, so he was basically telling me to, what he did was, to be honest with you, he strengthened my gifts of discernment, and he also gave me a Saeed. Okay? He crowned me and also gave me one, and now I have the ability to see things that I'm not going to say that I don't want to see, but I see things. Sometimes if I look at somebody, it makes my heart cry because I know somebody probably had tried. I have the ability to sense if somebody have tried, some wicked ritual on them. If I see them in the street, I could feel the energy. Somebody probably did try to do some type of wicked ritual on that person. And, so things of that nature. And, with that being said, if I do feel that energy, I can call upon the Reaper and have him tap into it and, see what's going on, because this is a big garden. Not saying that he overlooked it or missed it, but me being me, and I have my purpose in the world as well. I do what I do and I love who I am. So I'm going to fulfill my duties on the land and in spirit as well, So, all right. So when I had my conversation with him, I had realized how much weight that he carries. And when I stopped being afraid and started showing respect for his job, the vibe became more totally lit, and he actually accepted me and appreciated me more. And that's why I said, blessed me with a crown and gave me a Saeed, because I've had to, as he would say, put some things to rest. As he would say, I had to put some things to rest. And with that being said, I had to learn, and he had to tell me, you never glorify putting something to rest. And I had to realize that, that's why his job carries weight. Sometimes he don't want to pick that weed or use his Saeed, but he has to, because he has to obey rules and laws as well. And the master clock says it's time, it's time. Okay, so we talked about how important it is to keep the garden of our own life clean as well, and while we're still here. He's a guide who listens as long as you come to him with a calm heart. Remember, if you think you finna bring some type of sacrifice and put my name on it, you messed up. You messed up, buddy. That was the biggest mistake of your life. Because I'll never do that. I don't hate nobody that much in the world to even try to put a death ritual on them. I don't hate nobody that much. And he knows that. Just like the Most High God, the Reaper, my spiritual team and ancestors, they know that. That's why I had the ability and the authority to talk to all of them. Okay? They say if you put a love spell on somebody, you'll do anything. But that's not true. Because I still never do a death ritual or perform no type of thing like that on nobody. That's not who I am. All right. So, with that being said, I just want to say, hey, join the family. Join the family. We about to wrap it up, and this is my perspective. I hope it helped you feel a little more safer and warmer today. Please like the video, leave a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe to my channel. It really helps the cult grow so we can keep sharing these deep vibes together. Yes, I had a wonderful time. And remember that life is a cycle, and the Reaper is the one who ensures that the cycle never breaks. Okay? So thanks for hanging out with me today. Keep your garden beautiful, stay respectful, and stay warm. It's Tawansa, and I'll see you in the next one.